What is going on, everyone? Welcome into Big Time Football Talk. So, a lot of excitement last night for the draft. I think, the biggest surprise, one of the biggest surprises starts at number 3. The San Francisco 49ers taking Trey Lance, quarterback, North Dakota State. A lot of people thought it was Mac Jones was kind of going back and forth. You saw the Rappaport tweeted, or whatever, the guy from NFL Network tweeted, it was either going to be Trey Lance or Mac Jones there, and it turns out Trey Lance is the pick. A lot of people thought it was a sure thing. It was Mac Jones. I thought at one point it could have been Justin Fields, but Trey Lance is the guy. Still got Jimmy Garoppolo there. It's going to be interesting to see if they trade him or but Trey Lance is a project. Played just one game this year, 16 games last year. He's played not a lot of football in his time there, and he gave up a lot of draft capital to go get him. So you got to get this guy in the field. You got to get him reps in practice. You got to get him ready to go. I mean, he's got some things he's got to improve on, and it worries me because North Dakota State, if you watch them, there's a lot of games he ran a lot. He's a good runner. I don't think he's going to be a great runner like a Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, but he's got the ability to scramble and make people miss and break tackles. But the thing is, he did not throw. There's games he mostly threw between like 15 and 18 attempts in the game. So in the NFL, he's going to have to throw the ball more. And there was never a game he really just sat back and picked people apart. So that's really my concern with Trey Lance. But could be a good football player. He's a project. He's in good hands. Kyle Shanahan and that offense. Shanahan, one of the best offensive minds in the National Football League. And if there's anyone that can utilize and get the most out of Trey Lance's talent, it's Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers, who will have a lot of guys coming back from injury. Nick Bosa, one of those guys. Also, George Kittle was banged up. So, yeah, that was one of the surprises. What else happened in the draft? The Giants traded back and get Kadarius Toney. The Giants have a pretty darn good wide receiver in the core now. I mean, Sterling Shepard, Kenny Galladay, Kadarius Toney. You got some weapons for Daniel Jones, and it sounds like they're still all in on Danny Dimes. So we'll see what he can do with some weapons to work with. And a Giants defense that's not very good, but I think it could improve a little bit next year. I mean, they have some talent on that side of the ball. Not great, obviously. So we'll see what Danny Dimes can do with some more weapons there. And yeah. So and then I thought J.C. Horn, who is a guy I'm not as high on as the other corners. J.C. Horn was the first corner off the board to the Carolina Panthers. And then you saw right after that, Denver took Patrick Surtain. Denver, I thought, was going to go quarterback. And particularly, I thought they were going to go Justin Fields, who ended up going to the Chicago Bears with the 13th pick in the draft. So I didn't really like that the Bears GM came out and said Andy Dalton's their guy. I would have just said this: it's an open competition. That is, it's kind of coach speak, but that's really what it should be. This should be. Justin Fields, I think he has a few things to work on, but I think he's more ready than people give him credit for. I think he could go week 1. I had no problem with that. But I don't know. I guess you don't want to throw, Andy Dalton and Nick Foles completely under the bus. I guess you want to have some confidence in them, but I would just say it's an open competition there. And, that's kind of like, that's something, most college coaches would say this is the NFL. Guys aren't ready yet. He came into Georgia and was ready to play right away. But I think it should just be. I've been repeating myself, but he should have a fair chance to be the guy week 1. I mean, you don't trade up that many spots and go get a guy as talented as Justin Fields to sit him on the bench. Yeah, I mean, I have no problem if he rolls out there week 1. And I'm sure I haven't heard what a lot of Chicago fans are saying, but if I was a Chicago Bears fan, I would hope that week 1 Justin Fields was the starting quarterback. So, and then if you have, and then something he gets hurt or suspended or whatever, something for whatever reason he can't play, then you got good backups in Andy Dalton and Nick Foles. So, but. Yeah. So, that was a surprise. I thought for sure Fields is going to go to Denver. My team, the Detroit Lions, got Penei Sewell, my main man. Just a stud, beast, monster, whatever you want to call him. He bullies grown men on the football field. So happy that they got Penei Sewell. And yeah, just a tremendous pick, and the kind of the no-brainer for the Lions. Some people will argue Justin Fields, but it sounds like they're all in on Goff in the same way that the Giants, are all in on Danny Dimes and, trying to get pieces around him. They're all in on Jared Goff and trying to get pieces around Sewell. It's a full-blown rebuild in Detroit, and tonight, second and third round, they're going to try to add some more pieces there. So, yeah. Green Bay surprised me. I thought they reached on Eric Stokes at corner. Green Bay, they never seem to go receiver too often, and Elijah Moore seemed to be the pick. Mel Kiper was all over that. Elijah Moore, a talented wide receiver, very fast, a legit 4.3 speed. He's one of the notables on the board right now as we head into round two. You got guys like Tyson Campbell, Terrence Marshall Jr. Trevin Moehrig, Jeremiah Wusu-Carmo. You got some legitimate studs on the board in round two, so I can't wait. The second and third round is super exciting because if you really look back at the past few drafts, to be honest, there's a lot of damn good players in the second and third round. So your team, if your team has a second pick, second round pick, a third round pick, you got to really watch closely because this year, with the depth at wide receiver, there's a lot of guys like my dad and I touched on. There's a lot of guys that would have first round grades or would be first round picks. So, and then I'll touch on it. The Bengals ended up taking Jamar Chase, trying to help out Joe Burrow in the passing game. I think Cincinnati, some of their fans are disappointed. They were hoping it was going to be Sewell and try to protect Joe Burrow. But bottom line, they got a pretty darn good receiver in Jamar Chase who's going to step in day one and be ready to go. And they'll try to get that chemistry back they had at LSU. So, yeah. But I thought it was a super fun draft. And like people said, a lot of teams got exactly the guy they wanted, which is super fun. And I think there's a lot of happy franchises out there. I can say that for my team, and I think most could say that for their team. My dad likes the Raiders too. He was a little disappointed in the Raiders pick, and once again, it was Mike Mayock, John Gruden stretching out a guy, Leatherwood. There's nothing wrong with Alex Leatherwood, but he could be a good player. I think he's got a good ability to run block. Struggled in the Senior Bowl. That's why. I think that is why he's was not a consensus first-round pick by many, because he struggled really badly at the Senior Bowl blocking one-on-one. But is a talented kid who's played several years under Nick Saban. Nick Saban had high praise for him in Alabama. And I think he could be a good player, but if you're the Raiders, and he's likely going to play right tackles, you got Colton Miller at the left side. So I think he'll be a good player for the Las Vegas Raiders, but he's a guy they could have likely got tonight in the second round. So it's kind of one of those things. You could have got him in the second round, and you could have taken you could have added a piece on the defensive side of the ball, wherever that would have been. I still like both the top D tackles in the draft are still on the board, Christian Barmore and Levi Onwuzurike. So, but yeah, that's I'm going to wrap with that. Drafts, it's going to start back up here in about an hour. So thanks so much, guys. Enjoy the second and third round of the draft, and stay tuned for more clips and episodes from the show. Till next time, peace.